I believe everything that the Bible says. And I was reading a story in Zechariah that God knew me when I was in my mother's womb. And, being a young person coming up, I thought, how could that be possible? How could that be possible that he knew me when I was in my mother's womb? Let me tell you something. God has a plan for each and every one of us. Don't you doubt that. No matter what has happened, no matter how many wrong turns you've taken, he's still got the perfect plan for your life. I want you to know something. There's a story in the Bible that just gives us a perfect example of what happens when we take the wrong turn. But it shows us that what God has for us is irrevocable. So I want you to think about this. Rebecca was having some twins, and the twins were fighting on the inside. And so she prayed and asked God, said, God, what's going on the inside? He said, it's two nations in your womb. And he says, but the older son going to serve the younger son. Well, traditionally, that's not how it works. The older son gets everything. The younger son serves the older son. But just to give you a conclusion, God already knew what the plan was when they were in the mother's womb. Now, you would think, well, maybe. But when they're born, the older son sold his birthright to the younger son because the younger son didn't really understand what was already laid out for him. It's kind of like me and a lot of other people. You start out and you got talent, you just go the wrong way. But God is so awesome that the plan he has for you is irrevocable. That means it can't be taken away. That means even though you messed it up, even though you went down the wrong road, even though you did everything you shouldn't have done, you can't mess it up. Well, I want y'all to just really let that get down in your spirit, and we won't have so many suicides. We won't have so many people on drugs and alcohol and doing all kind of abusive things because they'll know that God does have a plan for me, even though I messed it up. So it's Jacob and Esau. So Jacob steals the brother's birthright. Jacob steals the brother's inheritance. And the mother goes along with it because she doesn't really believe what God said to her. Boy, I tell you, that unbelief can cost you everything. And at the end of the day, Esau goes crazy and wants to kill Jacob, so Jacob got to get on the run. And he never sees the mother again. That's kind of like sin. When we go down the wrong road and stay on that road, it costs us more than what it's worth. Trust me, I'll attest to that. It costs you more than what it's worth. But I want you to understand something. God met Jacob when he's going on the run from his brother. In other words, in the consequence of the sin. And he loves him so much, he's going to discipline him in the consequence and still bring him back out and get the blessing. So I want to say this to you, for those of you that's going through something out there, it's not the end. Those of you who took the wrong turn and went the wrong way, it's not the end. And if you come back to Christ, boy, I'm telling you, he's going to give you everything that he promised you. So Jacob goes on, he goes into the consequence, and he suffers and suffers. And here's the beautiful thing. You reap what you sow. He goes to his uncle in another town, and the uncle deceived him just like he deceived the brother for 20 years. Oh, man, you're thinking, oh, this is it. This is the end. I knew this was going to happen to me. Think about how many people took their lives before they came back to get what God really had for them. I might be talking to somebody right now. If you're at that point, don't even think about it. Just keep going, keep believing, and turn around and come back to Christ and watch what happens. So when Jacob turns around to come back, so first of all, when he's going on the consequence, God met him and told him, said, hey, even though you messed it up, I'm still going to bless you. I'm going to bless you even in your suffering. And so when he comes back in the suffering, going through the suffering, he comes back wealthy. And when he comes back around, God meets him again, and he wrestled with God and got his blessing. He already had the blessing anyway. And then when he go back to society, his whole life changed. And it changed everything from generation to generation. So I want you to start thinking about this. If I messed up and I went down the wrong road, And if I turn around and come back, I can not only get the blessing God had for me, but I can bless my family from generation to generation. I want you to know something, that Jacob is in the bloodline of Jesus Christ. I want you to know that his bloodline is still getting blessings today. And I want you to know this: however you messed up, whatever you did to get off track in your life, hey, look, I tell you what, just turn around and come back. And he's still got the same plan, the same blessing. Okay, let's use another example. Moses killed a man on the run, fugitive, in the desert, lived 40 years in the desert on his journey. But on the journey, he's getting prepared because he's shepherding sheep, not knowing that he's going to lead a nation out of bondage. Boy, God is awesome, isn't he? And just know this: he loves to take those that are messed up and make a good example out of them. So all of you that messed up, that went the wrong way, I need you to be encouraged. I need you to have a strong spirit. I need you to just know that God is going to use whatever happened to you to bring you into your blessing. Now, I want you to do this. I want you to just stay with me for a second, because I want to share something with you that I want you to just really look at and understand. Far above all rule, this is Ephesians 21, far above all rule and authority and power and dominion, whether angelic or human, far above every name that is named, above every title that is titled, not only in this age, but the age to come. And he put all things in every realm in subjection under Christ's feet, and appointed him supreme and authoritative over all things in the church, which is his body, to fullness and complete all things in all believers. Now I want you to know something, just in case you think you have no power, no authority. And Christ is sitting at the right hand throne of God's temple, and he's over everything, and he's connected to you like a vine and a branch. Whatever road you went down, he'll go down it with you. And he's going to go down, and he's going to bring you back. Now, you still suffer the consequences for the decision you made, but he blesses you while you're in the consequences. That's just all. So I want you to think of it this way. You know, you've got a kid, and he's bad, and he's done all kinds of things. So you put him in timeout, you give him a spanking, but he always comes back to the table and gets the blessing that his family has. I want you to know that God's got the table set up for you. I want you to know that whatever valley of the shadow of death you're going through, he said his rod and staff is going to protect you. And when he bring you out, he's going to set you before all your enemies. And then you're going to overflow with prosperity in all things, spiritually, mentally, physically, socially, in perfect health, even as your soul problem. I want you to let this get down in your spirit. I'm praying that this touch somebody's heart to help get them to the next level, to understand that God's plan is irrevocable. God bless you.